Okay, so we've been talking a lot about data and statistics on scores and exams and how students are doing. But before we do any of that, I think it's important to look at how exactly we are evaluating our teachers and students. And so my next question is, what are your thoughts on standardized testing and evaluating students using such methods, and furthermore evaluating teachers based on these said test scores? Are there any other methods that we could be using to evaluate teachers and students, or is the standardized testing model that we have the best one that we can use? Start with you, Carlos.
The problem with focusing just on testing is that we get unintended consequences. We want to believe that the teacher makes the standardized test a tool for their teaching and are teaching additional subjects and additional things to their kid besides the test, but that's not been the case. We hear about teaching the test. This is something that nationwide has been going on because we put this federally mandated standardized test scores that are tied to money, that are tied to prestige, and what we get is students passing the tests but not learning anything in the process. It's part of the machine. Again, we want to make everybody the same. What we should do is focus on individual students rather than focusing on how well you can do with a standard federal test. We should say, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Some of the European countries that I'm sure we will mention later on, why they've been so successful is because they focus on the individual student. If he wants to go to college, their high school experience is going to be more guided towards that, more academic courses, college credit in high school. If the kid doesn't want to do that, he has another option of going towards a more technical field. But the option is there, and that's what we're lacking in America, is we're lacking options.
So how do you think that students should be evaluated, though? Do you suggest continuing on to use standardized models and tests on the federal and the state level, or what methods do you think we should be using to evaluate students?
I think you should evaluate them individually, really. I mean, are they really, in order to tell if they're really college or career ready, without being arbitrary, is actually putting them in those situations.
So like independent evaluations by teachers or grades?
For
or
example,
tests, like
if your kid graduates from this particular high school and they go to college, and in college they drop out, that is something that tells you maybe that wasn't the best school. It's not test scores that get us there, because test scores, as we've seen, only teach them memorization. We want them to actually be ready and to actually learn something. So put them in the college or career ready situation and test them that way rather than a score when they're little.
Okay. Michael, how about you? What are your thoughts on standardized testing as a method to evaluate students and furthermore evaluate teachers based on these scores? And do you think that there are other methods that we can use to evaluate teachers and students?
So I think we got to be careful when it comes to standardized testing, specifically on one of the things that Carlos had said. A lot of them are true. We should be going back to an individualized type of training, but we still need to figure out a way if a student, to make sure that our students are college and career ready by the time that they graduate high school. So, when properly implemented, standardized tests can be good because it gives you a baseline of what they're at. I don't think that our teachers should be evaluated based on a score. I think they should be evaluated based on the improvement to those scores. So, if a student is still having struggles, but they have shown vast improvements from year to year, then obviously the teacher is doing their job. The student is just trying to get back up to par. Standardized tests can be good. If we're going to continue to implement them, it needs to be the floor. It should not be the ceiling. We shouldn't be saying, okay, we got him to this point. Now we're done. No, you're not done. I mean, we need to keep going. College and career ready is standards. What I like about them is it doesn't just teach our students knowledge, like Carlos was saying, memorizing things and just regurgitating them. It tries to teach you how to use the knowledge, which is something that has been lacking in our school system. So, I think standardized tests, like I said, when properly implemented, they can be very useful in our education system.